for international papers. Flo's joining us. Of course, we're going to talk about the British papers because they're focusing on that hotly anticipated Chilcot Report. 2.6 million words. It's an incredible number of words, isn't it, into the invasion of Iraq. Former Prime Minister Tony Blair really in the spotlight, Flo.
That's right. The Daily Mirror says it's Judgment Day for Tony Blair. The ex-prime minister is accused of WMD lies. Now, lots of papers say that the former prime minister is bracing himself for a blistering attack in this report. Or is he? Because other papers are saying that actually he could be kind of acquitted by this report. And if that's the case, well, the Daily Mail is going to be outraged. Let's take a look at this piece. If the Chilcot fails to nail Blair's lies, its final proof our democracy is broken. The Daily Mail is among those that believe that Blair is personally responsible for dragging Britain into this war that saw 179 British soldiers killed and, of course, tens of thousands of Iraqis killed as well.
13 years after the invasion, what about Iraqis? What do they think of this report?
Well, according to The Independent, Iraqis actually don't care about this Chilcot report that the British papers are reporting on. This article, for instance, says that, this report is an opportunity for Brits to think that the state is doing something. But the truth is, Iraqis, they've just suffered from the war. Their advanced and highly educated nation was reduced to a smoldering heap. And The Guardian agrees with this analysis. If we take a look at the front page of The Guardian, this is Martin Chulov, their correspondent in Baghdad. He says that 13 years later, the country is still reeling from the upheaval unleashed by the war. And you can see, he says that the Chilcot will do nothing and mean nothing to Iraqis.
And still reeling as well, of course, from that terrible attack in Baghdad at the weekend. The death toll now going up to over 250 people.
That's right. There's a very interesting piece in the New York Times that points out that the Baghdad attack is just one of a wave of several jihadist attacks on Muslim nations. There was, of course, Turkey, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. Many people in these countries feel disappointed by the media coverage or perhaps the lack of media coverage, the lack of outpouring on social media. Where is the global outrage? Where is the outpouring that came after these very same jihadist groups attacked Brussels and Paris? Why isn't hashtag pray for Iraq trending? Well, the New York Times quotes someone saying, well, oh yeah, no one cares about us after all. But it does beg the question, in this supposedly globalized world we live in, do non-whites, non-Christians, and non-Westerners count as fully human?
People have taken to social media, though, haven't they, to pay tribute to the victims?
That's right. And one guy in particular is getting a lot of attention. His name is Mustafa al-Najafi, a film producer of Iraqi origin living in London. He started a hashtag, not just a number, and he's trying to put a face on the over 200 men, women, and children that were killed in the Baghdad bombing, much like we saw here in Paris in the wake of the terrorist attacks here. It's really heartbreaking stuff. He's doing an incredible job of trying to identify these victims. Let's take a look at just one example. This is a tweet about Aldel Euro, a young man who's getting a lot of attention. He recently got engaged, as you can see in these tweets. He tells a little bit of his story. And you can see here, for instance, he says that he was a self-taught performer. He wanted to live, dream, create, and inspire. And there's that hashtag, not just a number.
Yeah, heartbreaking stuff. Let's move stateside now. Hillary Clinton is in the spotlight. The FBI has said she will not be indicted on criminal charges. This over, of course, the handling of classified emails.
That's right. Good news for Clinton, but then not so good news because the FBI pretty much said that she was incompetent and, questioned her judgment. So you can read about it here in the Daily Beast. The New York Times says this could be politically devastating for her, especially, that we're in an election year. You can see they're saying that this is a readily made attack ad for Hillary Clinton. That's the New York Times there. But let's just end on a lighter note, shall we?
Yeah.
Tonight is of course, the Euro Cup semifinal between Portugal and Wales. So I pulled out a little selection of articles from the Portuguese press. Let's start with A Bola. That's a sports daily in Portugal. We're going to get to this article in a sec. That's the Welsh press. Let's start with this one. This is about the coach. Now, This is the Wales coach, Chris Coleman. He's kind of a football hero in Wales, of course. And his wife is expecting a child tonight, perhaps.
Oh, my goodness.
He's always said he was going to come back for the birth, but his wife says no way he'll be on the pitch directing his players. As for the Portuguese press, they really think that they're going to win. They say that the time has come to win. Okay, wait, this is another article in the Welsh press once again. This is a crazy story. 2 Welsh fans living in Australia, they traveled 16,000 miles to watch the game, and they happen to be sitting next to each other on the same plane. That is commitment for you right there. And you'll just have to look at the Portuguese press yourself. They're really expecting their team to win as well, saying that the 11 million Portuguese fans are behind their team. Take us to the final. We'll see who wins.
Hopefully, the players will be a little bit more organised than our graphics there. But anyway, Flo, thank you very much. Flo Villeneuve with the papers on France 24.